fundraising has turned out to be a real interesting challenge that we've been able to navigate successfully. We realized early on that this was going to be a film that the only way it would really get rolling is if we funded it ourselves, and that as we funded it ourselves, the only way it would really be a good film is if we also got extra outside funding to be able to take it over the top. So that's how we approached it. We didn't sort of wait to start the film. We just said, okay, here's where we're going, and we're starting. And that's really how I got started with the idea. Was I just thought, you know, I can get started with this myself, and I think it's such a cool idea that it's going to attract other people.
And how did you raise the funds?
Well, the first thing that happened was we'd heard about this funding website called Kickstarter.com, and I noticed another filmmaker in Seattle named Brian Nunes who had a campaign that was successful, and so Lisa and I asked him out for coffee, and we said, how did that go? What was your experience? And he gave us some tips, and a couple weeks later we started our own Kickstarter campaign. And basically Kickstarter, the way it works is you create different incentives, kind of like NPR does, to get donations for your project, and then the website kind of keeps track of them, and it gives people an opportunity to basically donate to your project. It's not a tax-deductible donation, it's more of a pledge just to support the film and they could project. It's not a tax-deductible donation, it's more of a pledge just to support the film, and they can be for very small amounts. In our case, we set the lowest amount was $10, and then the highest amount was $2,500, and everything in between. There was about 10 different levels, and each level had different incentives. So for $50, for example, you could get a copy of the DVD before anyone else did, and you know, at $500 we gave an invitation to a special parade screening party with one of the best views of the parade in Seattle, and so but then on top of that we had to basically then push that out to our networks, to all of our networks of friends, and basically just, you know, bother them for a month while we ran the campaign and begged for money, and we did that. And I learned a lot about fundraising in the process, and one of the biggest things I learned was you really got to beg.
We not only reached our goal a day ahead of time, but we got $1,000 over our ask. So in that short period of time, we went from 43% funded to 100 and something.
107%.
107%.
And so, what was the total that you raised?
$14,400.
And how will that money be spent?
Well, the money's already spent, actually. Yeah, amazingly enough. Well, about 25–30% of it goes to taxes, as you can imagine. Another almost 10% goes to Kickstarter and to Amazon payments for the use of their service.
And then tell them about the money shot.
Yeah, and then one of the really exciting things that we're going to do with the money is we've hired a Seattle-based aerial radio-controlled helicopter pilot who's a world-class guy who gets hired by National Geographic and Safeco Field and a lot of places, named Tab Furchop, and he's going to be doing an absolutely spectacular aerial helicopter shot of the beginning of the parade and even down through the parade. We've gotten unprecedented access from the parade officials who are going to allow us to fly that right down the middle of the street, and then for the climactic scene in Kite Hill, we're also going to be flying that. So some exciting, cool things that really will bring the film to the next level and make it infinitely watchable are coming as a direct result of the success of the campaign.